All right, how's it going today, everyone? Happy Monday on this new week of trading. So let's just kind of jump into our NPOC levels, kind of everything that, a lot of people want to hear about and what we're going to be doing and updating, that sort of thing. So very straightforward. We do have a wide range here. I will say, the range from, down to these lows of 30.7 to 37,000 NPOC is about 20% range. So again, it gives us a good range to kind of trade. We want ranges like this. We don't want those tiny little skimpy, ranges. We like big moves up and we like big moves down on BTC and Ethereum. And when we have NPOCs with a range of about 20% to the upside, again, that gives us a pretty decent chance to capture some of that movement. So let's just kind of get right into our first long. So again, we did this on Wednesday of last week. So about 5 days ago, we want to long down at this 30,745. Now, going into some low-term time frame setups on our current ranges, we'll kind of touch on a little bit of this, but this is ideally what we would like to see. And we've talked about this, right? We've talked about that it is that very, very important level that we flipped. It was resistance, it was resistance, it is now support. It was resistance, it was resistance, resistance, and then we broke above it and it now potentially can act as support, right? So that's why we have that 30,745 NPOC target. And again, this is just an area of interest for ads, right? There's two different ways that you can play it down. Is you can potentially short this down if you really want to, down to that level. But for me, I do think that once we got that explosive move above 30,000, that we do kind of look to buy the dips. I'm going to continue to stick with that mindset for now until proven otherwise. If we lose 30,000 support, because that really is the key level, right? Then things can kind of change for us. So we'll just be, aware and update you guys like we do every single day over in the VIP Telegram. The VIP Telegram is built to really make life easier for you guys, right? So that you get my setups, you get my positions, you get updates every single day, you get low-term time frame updates, current range, low-term time frame, medium-term time frame, and high-term time frame updates. You get a lot of updates within my VIP Telegram. You don't essentially have to trade exactly how I trade, but as long as you can stay consistent, right? Because that's all it is just being up to date on the market. If you know what is going on within the day-to-day movement of Bitcoin and Ethereum, trust me, it will make your trading immensely better. So just kind of getting back into our analysis, this is the next area that we're looking at to long as far as NPOC levels, right? Of course, we can find some low-term time frame entries and we'll get into that later. But as far as NPOC levels, this is kind of what we're looking to do to the long side. And then to the short side, everything kind of stays the same. I'm not going to remake these setups just because they're exactly the same that we made them 5 days ago. And again, not much has actually happened within the big move up on BTC. Really, we had that impulse move higher above resistance, and now we're just kind of holding that level, which again is good. It's a bullish pattern consolidation for a next leg higher. So we'll continue to just watch that, especially on low-term time frames. But yeah, this is where I'm interested in shorting next, is going to be that 27,000 NPOC level. Do I think it can go higher than this? Yes, but a rejection needs to happen at some point. And just looking at this, we have a wick of our highs, and a lot of the times we like to see if we can get that filled. So hopefully we can get that filled, close that 25,955 NPOC level, maybe wick up, close this one as well before we see any sort of rejection, and then we can kind of move to the upside, continuing with maybe some chop, continuing with maybe an upside move to 50K. I mean, we do have NPOC levels, guys, all the way up to 45,000, and I think even some at 50,000, right? 56, 66, but we don't really like to mess with these or really even consider these until price starts to dig into them, right? So we had these NPOC levels up here at 34,700 something. I ended up deleting that because we don't need it anymore. But we have another one at, 35 and 37, but we didn't really talk about them until we started digging up into these upper NPOC prints. Really we were kind of focused on some of these prints within range, right? Because we have our highs, we have our lows, and until we break above or below, there was no reason to talk about those NPOCs because we had all these NPOC prints within range. So those were the ones that we focused on, right? Now that we got the impulse move out of our range above that 30K, that's now when we can start focusing on some of the higher NPOC levels, which is exactly what we're doing, right? By creating these game plans that have us to short some of these levels up higher. Now getting into Ethereum here, guys, let's just look at this one. Again, same thing. We do have that kind of wide range from NPOC levels to the upside. It's about a 24% range from 16,000 to 19,955. It's a good thing. We like ranges. We like wide spreads because that means that there's volatility that can hit that we can capitalize on. So everything really does stay the same, right? We know where our short is. We know where our long is, that sort of thing. I'm not going to harp too much on some of these NPOC levels just because, we already know where they're at. that. So yeah, this is what we're looking at on BTC for now. So this is going to be the area that we want to long next, 1600. You know, we've kind of talked about this. It coincides with the rejection on BTC down to 30K. I think if BTC heads down 30K, 745, then Ethereum is going to be heading down to that 1637. Again, same game plan. We're not going to get short heavy. We're not going to look to short down there. We're going to keep a solid game plan and look to kind of long into those NPOC levels lower, because we know that they're lower, right? So that's the thing, is a lot of people will have game plans for one direction, but then once price drops, they don't know what to do, or once price goes up, they don't know what to do. So having these game plans is really a way to stay balanced and not be biased, because it doesn't fucking matter, right? These are game plans for the long side and the short side. I don't care if it goes up first, because then I get a short entry. I don't care if it goes down first, because then I get a long entry. And that's the way that you guys have to continue to think about trading, is if you get into an entry right here and you don't really have patience for that, then that's kind of an issue, right? Because you're not really getting that discount on your entry that you want. But going into some NPOC levels, we did have this short right here from 821, and this has been pretty good. I will say that Ethereum is a little bit more on the short side. It looks a little bit better for a short entry, only because of a couple of scenarios that we had. We had this short on 1025, which was to short this 1821 NPOC level. Again, not terrible. You could have capitalized on some low-term time frame entries based on this. Again, nothing I'm looking to short heavy into. But then also 821, right? This is the one that has me thinking, is we've had a short entry for about, 2 months now, looking to jump up, close this NPOC at about 1841, and then drop to the downside. So again, we've had this game plan for about 2 months now. I am short Ethereum with buying some puts over on Synquote, but I'm not like heavy on the short exposure. So, you know, we'll kind of just have to see. This is a pretty good short. Again, 919, we had the same short. And again, even the low-term time frame is kind of calling for us to short into this area on Ethereum. So that's why for me, I'm not too heavily invested on Ethereum anymore. I was, playing BTC on the long. I do have some calls on Ethereum, but they don't expire until about a month from now. So I'm not too worried about those just yet. Kind of just see how price action goes throughout the rest of the next couple of days. But yeah, that is currently what we're looking for on Ethereum. I think it does offer a pretty decent short entry based on our setups previously. So again, I'm not really wanting to long heavy here on Ethereum. To me, if I were to be jumping into a position now, it would actually be an Ethereum short position. You know what? I might actually do that. Let's just stick with this game plan since we created from 821. And now, it's not too much of a chase anymore, right? It was kind of chasing when it was 1789, but now that, we're kind of digging back into that 1841, it's now at 1816. I'll take a little entry, a starter entry, and see how it goes. Starter entry being, a couple $1,000s, nothing insane. I trade this just to stick with the game plans that we created, and also to put my money where my mouth is, right? If you guys are going to be trading this, I better be trading it as well. All right, so we took a little short on Ethereum at 1814. Again, happy to be wrong because I have a lot of long exposure, but again, sticking to the game plan, guys. I did not want to short this because I did feel like I missed this entry. And so once we were trading down here, I was like, it's a little bit of a chase. But now, fast forward a couple of days later, we did get an impulse move higher. So now that gives me a little bit better of an entry into that short position rather than me chasing a couple of days ago. So that's why I shorted, sticking with the game plan that we had. Again, I hope that this can be beneficial to you guys as well. The only altcoin I'm going to touch on is Sui, because that was a banger call over in the Telegram. I got a great entry at about 38 cents, which really was almost the bottom. Riding it now into really wanting some moves higher. And I only stuck with this one just because this was what we created live stream for you guys. We wanted a dig past this level as it was the only real level of support. And that's exactly what we got before we got the move higher. So we need to get back above that 50 cent level. And once we get back above 50 cents, I think that we could target 80 to 89 cents, something like that. So love that Sui play, guys. I know a lot of people sent me that they were in on it with me. So shout out to you guys making profits. And yeah, again, guys, please go over to my YouTube and like and subscribe. I now got a team that's going to be pumping out a lot of content for you guys. My content is still going to be free. So I'll see you guys over in the Telegram. Talk to you later. Peace.